today we're looking at my LEGO hypercar, which I call a C25R, and in today's video we're going to look over all the details of it. And just a new overview of the model, and we're going to start with by saying that basically I'm using a new camera setup, so if the camera goes out of focus for a second or two here and there, it's because of a new camera setup. So also the car is on a turntable, so if the car looks like it's floating, basically it is floating. So we're going to start by looking at the front end here, and we'll just zoom in here to the front end. So starting with the front, basically we have it's not inspired by anything in particular, but we have some very small lights right here with some transparent plates, and same on this side. And basically those are inspired by lights such as the Aston Martin Vulcan or a Ferrari FXXK, which have very low profile lights integrated into the front of the car. Then on the hood here, which I'm moving around a bit, we have these two flag pieces, which are basically have little intakes in the side. Originally they were flipped around, which gave a triangular intake in the center. I think my brother came up with this design, which I think looks quite a bit better. So I also should say that this, if you've seen my previous videos, you've probably seen this vehicle, because I did do a highlight video on this model in a previous video, but the model has been considerably updated since then. So yep, we're making the second video because there's so much more stuff that we've added since then, and it may not look like it at first, but just keep watching and you'll see. So if we move on to the side, we're using the standard Speed Champions fenders, and some Speed Champions wheels. We have a rear view mirror here, with a standard standard Speed Champions stuff. Same for the window here, and this is the convertible or spider version, you might say, of this model, and it can be converted into a hardtop version quite easily, simply by putting two 1x6 tiles up here on top, and basically you get the hardtop version. Keep that on there for now. So back here we have this intake, and we'll zoom into the intake here so you can see it a bit better. I'm quite happy with how the design came out here. We're using a 2x3, I guess, wedge brick and a wedge plate right here, using some studs not on top techniques, and this little curved slope here, and it gave us a really nice intake, air intake for the mid-engine design of this car. So we move around to the back part here. Basically we have a little intake above the rear wheel, just standard stuff. When we get to the back, though, the back is quite different from most normal cars, and most special cars too. So I'm using this LEGO Technic lift arm here, and that provides a 3-output exhaust outlet, and we have some blue lights around it to give it a nice futuristic look. Underneath it we have a diffuser, custom-built diffuser, which I'll show in a second. And right over here we have a little plate where you can stick your license plate if you made one. Also, the brake lights are integrated into the side here, and basically using these angled tiles allows them to give it a nice angled look to the brake lights. But if we flip the car upside down, you can see the diffuser is made with LEGO panels and are built upside down. This technique is borrowed from the LEGO Formula E car in the new Speed Champion set, and as you can tell from the colors, that's basically the set that this car is based on. This car is a combination of two sets, one of which is the Jaguar Speed Champion set, and the other one which is the Dodge Charger from the Speed Champion set. Not entirely, but mostly a combination of those two sets. And on the top of the back here we have these little wings, and those wings are basically the idea is taken from the Ferrari FXXK, which has two very small little wings coming in from either side. It gives it a really unique look to it. And if we move to the center part where the engine is, we have a roof intake combined with a little bit of exposed engine components right here, formed with some LEGO ingot pieces. The roof intake is basically just like ones on most modern McLarens or most modern race cars, which have these intakes on top. So if we move on to the interior of this car, we'll take off the window or the windscreen and look inside it. Let's get this focused there, and there we go. Basically up here we have a little sticker that looks like a control stick from a LEGO Star Wars gunship, which makes a very nice detail looking addition to the cabin. We have a manual transmission, a gated transmission, which does work, and the design of this is coming up in a future video if you'd like to stick around and see that, or subscribe to see that video. Basically, we have these little slopes here, which are intended to be little information screens that would show the driver data. And as you can see, the driver is sitting in the center of the car, like the McLaren F1, which is where the idea came from. Also was the best way that I could find to fit in the gated transmission. So, as you can see, this little 1x2 tile here, and that's because a minifigure can't actually sit properly in this car with minifigure legs on. So basically, you take the top half of a minifigure and put him in there, and he sits in there fine with just that little 1x2 tile keep him in place. Put the roof back on there. There's a little bit of a gap. You turn it back into convertible mode. The gap is least obvious from like that. So obviously, if the minifigure is wearing a helmet or a racing helmet, that'll look a bit better. And we could probably do more modifications to fit a minifigure better inside it. But that's how it looks like a minifigure, or a top half of a minifigure inside it. So that's it for the outside. So now we're going to show you another little feature that I added, and that would be the ski box. And this is you probably see one of these on minivans, SUVs in real life, and this would be if you want to take your skis, or perhaps some golf clubs or something like that to wherever you're going, to a ski resort probably with skis. So basically, on minivans, or SUVs, they just go on top. The supercar, typically, they're very rare because they're not very, they take away the whole aerodynamic bit of a supercar, but they look pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea. So basically, this balances on the wings and on the front part. It does connect. It doesn't just balance. Basically, take these rear little wing pieces off. Also, I should point out the car doesn't look too bad without the little wings on there. Basically, we connect these onto here. Like that. And connect that on there. And boom, you have the ski box connected. So, let's focus the camera. And there it is. Of course, it doesn't actually, it's completely solid Lego. It doesn't actually hold anything, but it looks pretty awesome. There's a little extra on there. And now we're going to show the next part of this hypercar, which is the exploded view, you could say. Basically, if you've ever seen a Pagani or a Koenigsegg in real life, and in the description I'll link to a good video if you want to go see what a real life Pagani or Koenigsegg looks like when it's exploded. Basically, the hood opens up, the doors open up in a fancy way, and the entire rear compartment where the engine is located opens up too. So basically, it looks like the car is exploded in a good way, technically, because everything's still there basically. So now we're going to show you the exploded view of this car. So now we are in full exploded view mode, and we'll go over all the different views of the exploded view. Starting with the front, and in the front we have basically the hood, or the front trunk, flip forward to open it up, you could say. And in there we have a little, these intake flaps here basically fold upwards, and then your minifigure can take his briefcase and you put it in there, or you can pretend to put it in there. You can just put it right there, make it look like it's gonna go in there while it's exploded, because it doesn't actually fit in there. I mean, more heavy modification, you could probably make it fit in there easily enough if you wanted to take around a little minifigure briefcase. So the doors are inspired by Koenigsegg's synchrodihedral doors, I think they're called, and they flip up and forward, and they turn forward at the same time. Basically, so they're very complicated, but they end up looking like this once they're open. They look pretty awesome. Obviously, the window is still here, but I didn't want to bother cutting the window off the Lego part to make it fit, so yeah, I just kept it the way it was, and it looked reasonable. And the convertible looks even better, makes it look a bit more open, because the rest of this car is entirely open. In the back here, the whole rear assembly is just moved upward, basically, or just hinged upward. So we have the blue lights, like I said earlier, And back here we have the little engine and exhaust system, and we'll just zoom in here. There we go. And focus that. Basically, you can see we have a little engine inside there, and a little exhaust system. And the exhaust system actually was not intended to be an exhaust system. That was just the way the it looked when I put it together, but it modified it a little bit to make it look a little bit better. And now it's basically the little interior exhaust system. And we have a little replica engine in there too. There are some pieces in here, say these slopes and little details along the sides here, on both sides, and those are removed when the cover comes down. But otherwise, the exhaust system and the center part of the engine stay inside when the cover is down. So it basically has a little engine in there, a little fake replica engine. There are no hinges in the car actually. You basically have to remove this rear cover and then install the hinges and put it all back together. Same for the doors and the hood. There are extra hinges you have to install first. So even then, it would probably be a bit complicated to actually fit all those parts in here without, but it would be possible. So we might try that in the future to actually integrate the hinges. In the back, most of these cars in real life, or most supercars, the hinge for the engine cover is on the back, but we flipped it around because we thought that, it'd be a bit simpler, because the upside down built diffuser in there. So one more detail we'll go over before we end the video. Now the final detail is just these little basically little studs with tubes sticking out the ends, and they form little, or they represent little suspension arms on the car, so a little extra detail underneath. Also thought I'd point out underneath that the entire car basically is brick built. There are no pre-formed Speed Champions chassis pieces down here, so that's the reason that we can't fit minifigures too well, but it allows the car to be a lot stronger internally, and basically underneath it's quite bulletproof. Not entirely, the strongest Lego model ever with the all the little details on there, but still it's quite strong. So now we'll move on to the end of the video. So here we are with the car opened up and the ski box on top basically, so this is your full configure with basically everything on the car right here. So in case you're wondering, we are going to be releasing instructions for this model so you can build it yourself, and those will be coming up on the YouTube channel in a couple days here soon, so you can build it in whatever color you like. And I got a parts list in case you want to order parts from Bricklink, and we're also going to include the instructions for opening the model up like you see here. And basically, yeah, we're going to have full instructions for everything coming up in the future. So thanks for watching. You can subscribe to get notified of more videos like the instructions when they come out, and you can also get notified more models like this and do basically more supercars and things like that, because there's more interesting stuff coming soon. So thanks for watching. You can give the video a like, and we'll see you in the next video.